I really like Mega Man. I really like Scratch. So why not make Mega Man 2 in Scratch? I recently got back into the 3DS, or, well, my 2DS. You see, I've had this electric blue 2DS for years and I loved it. I have very fond childhood memories with the 3DS, and after trying to replay some of my childhood games, I thought, man, I wish I had more games. That's when I remembered hacking is a thing. Hacking your 3DS is extremely easy, and after I hacked my 2DS, I got a bunch of games and cool stuff on it, and eventually, I went from playing games to playing homebrews. But that made me realize that a lot of 3DS homebrews only really work on the new 3DS, which is a revision to the original 3DS, which has more processing power, an eye-tracking camera for better 3D effect, and a couple extra buttons and doodads. My birthday happened to be coming up, and I decided to be a little bit greedy and spur of the moment, and got myself a decade-old handheld for $200. And I gotta say, it's been a great choice so far. As of writing the script, I don't think I've turned off my 3DS all week. I just put it into sleep mode, plug it in at night, and then place it in my pocket in the morning and pull it out periodically and play throughout the whole day. It's been great, which brings me to the topic of this video. One game I've been steadily making my way through has been Mega Man Legacy Collection, a package containing the first 6 NES Mega Man games, and my personal favorite so far has been Mega Man 6. I've always loved Mega Man 6, it's always been my favorite, but my second favorite is, quite appropriately, Mega Man the Second. Right around the time that I was playing through all these games, I also started to get a nagging to start a new programming project, something epic and grand on the scale of my Wolfenstein 3D port. So I decided, to hell with it, I'm going to make Mega Man 2 in Scratch. First, let me answer some questions that newcomers might ask. First of all, why Scratch? Scratch has been my preferred coding language for a very long time, even after becoming proficient with stuff like C++ and JavaScript, because it can do all the exact same things that those other programs can do in a cute and colorful package. You can even export a Scratch project as executables, so there's no reason not to use it if your argument is going to be, you can't make a career out of it. So long as your game is good enough and doesn't look like Scratch so that people won't have a stigma against your game for looking like Scratch, then you can do anything. And the other question I bet people will ask is, why not use Turbo Warp? If you're not in the loop, Turbo Warp is a much faster and better version of Scratch. I probably would have used it if not for the fact that I want to play this in school. I don't know about you guys, but at least at my school, Turbo Warp is a blocked site and Scratch isn't, so being able to pop in a quick game of Mega Man 2 at school would be cool as hell. Alright, with those questions out of the way, let's get started. I started by first developing something I knew I was gonna need, tile wrapping. Basically what this is creating a scrolling background made up of 16 by 16 tiles that wrap around, reusing and readjusting the same couple of sprites in order to make sure that we don't try something dumb like importing stages as images or rendering the entire stage at once. This was a good place to start for many reasons. Primarily, it made me realize that the NES resolution and Scratch's resolution do not like each other. Unless I wanted to keep the game in a tiny window, I was going to need to scale the game up by 2. However, doing so meant that now the game was too big for the screen, meaning I was going to need to add something the original game didn't have, which was simultaneous vertical and horizontal scrolling. Another good thing that creating tile wrapping first did is it gave me time to think about how I would go about creating certain things. I've made many tile wrapping systems in my life, so this was a cakewalk and freed up space in my head to consider things like enemies, bosses, and eventually what I ended up working on next, player palettes. In case you're unaware, one of the main mechanics in pretty much every Mega Man game is the Blue Bomber's ability to copy the skills of defeated bosses. In fact, originally they wanted Mega Man to be white and be called Rainbow Man, making him take on the colors of slain enemies. Although the name didn't stick, Mega Man still changes colors when using the abilities of bosses, which, hey, is something that Scratch supports. Except Scratch's color blocks work much differently than how this would have been done on the NES. The NES used a palette in order to assign colors to what were effectively paint-by-number images. In order to achieve Mega Man's color swapping, they reassigned the numbers for Mega Man's blue suit to 2 different colors. Meanwhile, Scratch's color blocks simply shift the hue of the entire image, which, as you can see in this clip, ends up making Mega Man look a little bit sickly. I briefly considered using an individual set of sprites for all possible colors, but Mega Man has well over 20 sprites, and multiplying that by the 10 different palettes used by the weapons in game, that would come out to over 200 sprites that I would have had to import and refer to manually. Yeah, that's not happening. Instead, I did some experimenting and came back with this. I can split each sprite into 3 different parts: the outline and face, the main color of the suit, and the accent color of the suit. If I recolor the suit to be pure red, I can use the combined power of the color and brightness blocks in Scratch to only recolor the suit and effectively get any color I want. Now, instead of having to make 12 copies of each sprite, I only need 3. That's a quarter of the sprites that I would have to use otherwise. With the player's appearance taken care of, the next step in remaking Mega Man 2 was to create the iconic Mega Man physics. I won't bore you with the details since it's really not that important, and if all goes to plan, you should never have to think about it during normal gameplay anyways. All you really need to know is I added the inch, where if you press the direction for only a single frame, you will only move a single pixel. And I added the jump, where if you let go of the jump button, you immediately lose any upwards momentum and begin falling down. Both of these mechanics are crucial to Mega Man's formula, as they allow you to do the precise platforming required to clear the stages, and it allows you to dodge enemy attacks with precision. We'll fast forward a bit because honestly, most of the engine development is just boring bug fixes, and I kinda made a ton of progress before ever deciding to log this, so I can't really recount all of it. I'll just say that eventually I got enemies, health, ammo, weapon selection, bosses, and menus all done. To review, so far what I have is a pretty accurate Mega Man physics engine in Scratch. Many features are implemented that complete the gameplay loop, such as enemies, health, item pickups, weapon swapping, dash game overs, and even bosses and passwords. I've imported all assets for and completed porting over the entirety of Metal Man stage. I've also completed porting the layout and tiles used in Flash Man stage. The boss and enemies have not been implemented yet, other than this blocky which already appeared in Metal Man stage. By the way guys, let me know what you think of this flashing background idea. I really like how it looks, but I'm not sure if I should use it since it might trigger epileptic users or just be generally irritating, and it might stray too far from the original game, but whatever. Currently, the Metal Blade, Time Stopper, Item 1, and Item 2 abilities have all been implemented. Plans for next devlog, which is scheduled for next week or the week after that, are to add the enemies required for Flashman stage as well as Flashman himself, and to port over the layout for Crashman stage, which means I'm going to have to implement something that I've been missing from my current engine and that I've been dreading implementing: ladders. See you next time. Thank you guys so much for watching this first devlog for Mega Man 2 on Scratch. I'm really excited to keep working on this. It's a really big project of mine. I really like the Mega Man games. I love remaking stuff on Scratch. I love programming in general, and I'm just really excited to do this. And who knows? I have a lot of plans down the line for this project. It's not just going to be a straight Mega Man 2 port, and a prime example will be at the very end of this video, and I'll show you, and it'll be quite cool. But yeah, I have a couple plans for this down the line. I'll probably one of the main things I want to do is probably turn it into a Turbo Warp project, and then actually fix the resolution problem and make it better, and export it maybe as a .exe and literally just make it like a own Mega Man 2 remake. But yeah, I'm really excited for this, and I'll see you guys all next week, because I'm planning on probably doing these devlogs either every week or every 2 weeks or so. I'll try to make sure to log my stuff a lot better, so I don't have such short videos. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys all later. Goodbye.